Mama Kofi sat alone in her room, staring at the flickering candle. She had always been a strong woman, raising her children with discipline and love. But now she felt as though her world was crumbling. Her children were turning against their father, and she was caught in the middle. Deep down, she knew that Kofi's desires were natural, but admitting it felt like a betrayal to herself. She wiped a tear from her cheek and whispered a silent prayer for wisdom. The village elders called a meeting. It was time to address the tension within the family. Baba Mensa, the oldest and wisest of them, spoke. In our culture, polygamy has always been a way to ensure family stability. A man's needs do not fade with age, and a woman's body changes with time. Balance must be found, not through secrecy but through understanding. Mensa and Inbi listened in silence. They had always believed their father was selfish, but now they began to question their judgment. A well-respected traditional healer and a local doctor were invited to speak. The doctor explained that a man's testosterone levels often remained high even in old age, leading to continuous desires. The traditional healer added that in ancient times, men married more than one wife to keep the balance in the household. A man is like a tree with many branches, he said. If you cut off his natural growth, he withers. This revelation shook the sons to their core. Could their father's actions be more than just selfishness? Mama Kofi was torn between tradition and personal pain. She loved her husband but could not change the toll age had taken on her. She sought advice from older women in the community. One woman, Nana Afia, placed a hand on her shoulder. You must choose, my dear. Would you rather share your husband with dignity or lose him to secrecy and shame? Her words weighed heavily on Mama Kofi's heart. Mensa had been married for 10 years. Lately, he noticed how his wife avoided intimacy. Inbi, too, found himself longing for something his wife could no longer give. They were living the very life they once condemned their father for. The truth hit them hard. One evening they sat by the river, staring at the rippling water. Are we becoming like father? Mensa asked. Inbi sighed. Or have we just been blind to the truth? Kofi gathered his children. I never meant to hurt your mother, he admitted. But a man's desires do not disappear with age. I kept my affairs secret because I feared losing my family. But secrecy breeds betrayal. I should have been honest with all of you. His words hung heavy in the air. Mama Kofi finally spoke. I never wanted to push you away, but a woman's body grows weary. I thought love was enough. Kofi took her hand. Love is enough, but companionship must be balanced with nature. Tears filled their eyes. Understanding had begun. After much discussion, the family decided that if Kofi was to take a second wife, it had to be done with dignity and respect. No secrets, no shame. A proposal was sent to Akua, the woman he had been seeing, and she agreed to join the family under proper marriage rites. Mama Kofi was hesitant but remembered Nana Afia's words. It is better to embrace the storm than to be washed away by it. The village gathered for the ceremony. Drums echoed through the air as Akua was welcomed into the family. Mama Kofi stood by her side, a symbol of strength. Mensa and Inbi watched in silence, realizing that this was not just about their father. It was about generations of men before him and the reality they would one day face themselves. The transition was not easy, but healing had begun. Mama Kofi and Akua formed a respectful bond. The children, though still adjusting, accepted that their father's actions were not born out of selfishness but out of an unchangeable truth. The sons sat with their father one evening under the stars. Will we also walk this path? Mensa asked. Kofi chuckled. You may resist it now, but nature is patient. One day you will understand. Years passed, and the family remained strong. Mama Kofi and Akua coexisted peacefully. The sons, now fathers themselves, finally understood. They had once judged their father harshly, but life had taught them a different lesson. As Kofi sat surrounded by his grandchildren, he smiled. His family had not been torn apart. Instead, they had embraced reality and found unity within it. The unspoken truth of men had been spoken at last, and in that truth peace was found. The village elders praised the family for their wisdom. Many men who had hidden affairs in shame began to approach their wives with honesty, seeking understanding rather than secrecy. The discussion on male anatomy deepened as the village doctor elaborated on the biological differences between men and women. He explained how men's reproductive systems are designed to produce millions of sperm daily, while women release only one egg per month. This contrast was one of nature's ways of ensuring reproduction and survival, making polygamy more aligned with biological design. The elders gathered once more to educate the younger generation on the historical aspects of polygamy. They spoke of great kings who had multiple wives, not out of greed, but to ensure the continuity of their lineage. They emphasized that polygamy, when done respectfully, strengthened communities rather than breaking them apart. Mensa and Inbi conducted their own research and found that testosterone levels in men remained high even in old age. In contrast, as women aged, estrogen levels declined, causing a natural decrease in libido. These findings shook them to the core, forcing them to reconsider their previous judgments about their father's actions. Mama Kofi had come a long way in understanding her husband's nature. She started counseling younger wives, teaching them that marriage was not just about love but about understanding the biological and emotional needs of both partners. Men in the village who had once led secret lives now sought guidance on how to introduce polygamy with dignity and openness. They realized that suppressing natural desires led to broken families and deceit. The family, now fully embracing their reality, grew stronger. Akua and Mama Kofi worked together, ensuring their husband was content and their household was peaceful. More men in the village came forward, sharing their struggles with suppressed desires. The elders organized forums where men and women openly discussed intimacy and marriage, creating a culture of honesty. Mensa and Inbi faced similar struggles in their own marriages. When they approached their wives, they met resistance. But with patience and dialogue, understanding grew. Scientific findings on male reproductive health confirmed what tradition had long upheld. The village recognized polygamy as a solution to prevent infidelity and dishonesty. With newfound respect, women embraced polygamy not as oppression, but as a natural order that strengthened families. The family, now a model of unity, became an example to others. Kofi, now old, smiled as he saw his sons embrace the wisdom he had once struggled to explain. His truth had become their truth, and peace prevailed.